Boom. Let's go to Facebook. Boom. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Diamond Zone. Let me mute all. Boom. Diamond Zone, Diamond Zone, Diamond Zone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know we're gonna have people logging on from all around the world. I do now know there's someone on from the Netherlands. There's people on from Australia. We got people on, of course, from Canada and across the United States. And we conduct Diamond Zone every morning, guys, for the purpose of keeping people plugged in, keeping people plugged into the system, getting their morning wake-up call, even if they've had too much coffee, Anne-Marie, and it doesn't really make a difference. But, guys, what I want to do is, first of all, go through some of these upcoming events before I get into the training. But this is on our Facebook page. It's also on Hilo Life. We will be in Minnesota. Well, let's start with Orange County. Okay, even though it's not really a good slide, but if you click here, the Orange County Global World Global Network Experience, Saturday, July 22nd at 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock at the Hilton Costa Mesa. You can see the flyer here. Tickets are available. Just click here and you'll buy your tickets for 20 bucks. It's an all-day training, guys. We have Tuan and Van, Grand President's going to be there. We have Christina going to be there from San Diego, double president. So we have a full array of trainings that we're going to do. You're going to learn every aspect of the business, from how to get people started to your compensation plan, understanding the nuances of your business, personal development. And we're also going to do a training on social media, how to effectively use social media. So you're going to want to be there in Orange County, guys. Anybody you have within 500-mile radius, please get them to this event. It's all-day training, and it's going to be a lot of fun because you know we like to have fun. Great social event planned for afterwards, too. All right. Also, what is this one? This is this Orlando? Yes, this is Orlando, August 10th. Oh, no, we got to go to Minnesota. We got to go to Minnesota. Hang on, Minnesota. Here's Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota is August 3rd through 5th at the Doubletree Hilton. August 3rd will be a business opportunity presentation, and August 5th will be an all-day training. Once again, if you want to see these banners, Hilo Life. If you're not a member, request, and we'll make sure that you could log into Hilo Life. You could also friend me on Facebook. These all live on my Facebook page. Also, if you're going to be in Orlando, we're going to be in Orlando August 10th. Just a business opportunity presentation. And then August 12th, look at these banners we had done. Lisa's so excited. She had a banner done. August 12th from 10 to 6. We will be with Grand Diamond, Mr. Bill Davies, all-day training from 10 to 6 in Florida. So just want to get you guys up to speed. And don't forget tonight, you got Diamonds, Shaylisa and Tim doing the opportunity presentation. Remember, that opportunity presentation is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 6 o'clock, like clockwork, just like Diamond Zone, like clockwork, for the purpose of exposing your guest to the business of World Global Network. So Shaylisa and Tim have probably the most momentum that we have in our group right now. So whenever you have people that are getting results, you want to make sure they're doing the presentations. And they are great. They're fabulous. So get your guests on that call. All right. So before I get into the presentation, guys, that's because I'm learning my computer. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but I want you guys to watch this. It was I'm a big Rocky fan. But take 3 minutes and just
Are you a network marketer or a home business owner who's making one of the 3 most common mistakes that prevent you?
Okay, here we go.
You ain't gonna believe this. but you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. You start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
All right, guys. You know, what I try to do every morning, and this is just me, because I'm a firm believer in you got to find your little successes, guys. You got to get your head right every morning. And I'm just telling you little tips that I've always done myself. Okay, number one, okay, maybe I listen to a good song. Maybe it's a motivational video. Okay, maybe it's reading a chapter in a book. You know how we talk about having a good reading and listening library? Okay, it's so important. It's so important. And these are just some of the things. If you go to YouTube and just put in motivational messages, or you watch stuff like Tony Robbins or any type of motivation, I'm going to try to do that now every morning. I'm going to find a video clip for 2 or 3 minutes. And like I said, some people think I'm fun. Some people think it's weird. Okay, but if you read that Miley Cyrus song, the lyrics, that's our journey. The journey that we do, it's the climb, right? There's always another mountain, right? You always want to make it move. There's always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're going to have to lose, right? It's everything that we do, and it's all around us. Any successful person understands the climb. And what I appreciate is everybody on this call, every day, okay, you get up, if you're taking the necessary action, you have the climb. And sometimes, you know how they say is another mountain and you're always going to want to make it move? In other words, you want it faster than sometimes it's going to come your way. I was bantering back with Shaylisa and Tim this morning. I couldn't sleep. I was up at 4:30. My mind, you know how sometimes you just can't sleep? So I popped up at 4:30, and Shaylisa and Tim are both up, and we started bantering back and forth, and they started talking about all the great things they have going on in their business, right? That they're personally bringing in, okay, this week, 10 more new people, personally, 10 more new people. And you know what I said? I read the text. I was sure. I said, it's your time. It's your time. Okay, the mountain is moving because you've been willing to do what most people aren't willing to do. And that's just the bottom line. Most people, when they see the mountain, right, and they go, oh my God, that uphill battle, okay, I don't want to take that. I don't want to take that journey. Well, then just what you have to understand is all you got is all you're going to get. There's going to be things that you have to do to persevere. And all these different things that we do, okay, is just to help your journey. And what I want everybody to know is this: we got you. If you're willing to take the journey, your upline has you. Because I say it all the time, but I want to reemphasize it. You guys are a special breed. Okay, you're not the norm. That's why we have an unbelievable opportunity. If everybody did this, we wouldn't have an opportunity. I think you guys know that, right? See, we're part of the 2%. That 2%, okay, this 2% has to stick together. And that's why you got to always find the positive spins. But a lot of times this gets in the way. So those are just two things that I do. Okay, I always try to listen to a song that gets me in a good mood, and I have my list of songs, right? Sometimes it's watching a motivational video. Sometimes it's reading a chapter in one of my favorite books. It's all about getting your head right. Because if you get your head right, you're willing to go out there and conquer the 98%, period, because they're all around us. But I will tell you this, the 98%, if they knew what we knew, they would be a big percentage percentages of them would be over here. And that's our job. That's all we do. If you guys were on the call last night with Mr. Ramasio Fulcher, okay, you understand why he is where he is. Okay, it's him taking the journey. And, I appreciate him doing that for our team. And you know what our company is doing, guys? We're coming together. Everybody is one team. I know we have people from other organizations on this call. I don't look at that. I look at that we're all on the same journey. And anybody's success is our success. And you got to celebrate other people's successes. Right? When I tell you that Shaylisa and Tim are going to add 10 new people, okay, that should kind of irk you to go out there, but you should celebrate their success. When you hear that Anne-Marie's on her way to sign somebody up, we should celebrate her success because that's our success. Okay, and it proves that it can be done. So what I want to talk about today is the exercising the attributes of your success because it's so very, very, very important. Okay, to understand this is what you look for. The first place you look for this is you have to exercise your attributes. Once you get really good at exercising your attributes, it's really easy to identify these attributes within others. Because that's what we are. You know what we are, right? Okay, we're recruiters, right? We're out there looking for people that want to make a change. But the first person that has to make the change is us. This is the personal development side of our business. And everything that we do starts with our desire. See, desire's in the heart for a reason. And I will tell you, we're born with unbelievable desire. All of us. And I don't know what happens, but as we grow up, our desire gets less and less because we fall into the masses. But if you remember when you were a kid, every single day you were going to be something different. And you never even questioned it. I'm going to be a gymnast. I'm going to win the gold medal. Then I'm going to be a fireman. Then I'm going to be a doctor. Okay, what happens to that desire? A lot of times society blows it out. And I believe everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit. We just have to ignite it. But unless your desire is there, okay, and here's my philosophy. If the desire is there, the how-to will come. If the desire is there, the how-to will come. You'll have that figure it out attitude. Everybody has one of their favorite sayings. I have a couple. Figure it out is number one. Number two is tell people what to do and see if they do it. Because that's all we can do. And I know every time, part of our 24 years in this industry, do you know how many times we had to figure it out? Do you know how many times we could have quit? But I always went back to our desire. Because we had that desire in place. My desire was never to be told what I was worth. To take responsibility for our situation. And many times I questioned that desire. Many times I thought, you know what? Maybe it's easier to fall back into exactly what I was trying to get away from. Right? When the going got tough, I said, well, you know what? Maybe that job doesn't sound too bad now. Maybe that consistent paycheck is something I need to go back to. Then all of a sudden, I would sit down and go, wait a minute. Okay, where is my desire? So understand, desire fuels the rest of the attributes. And I'm telling you, you're going to have to go to the desire well a lot. Right? When things aren't going the way you want, check your desire. When you're thinking about it, because let's face it, every day you wake up, everyone, and this is Diamond Zone stuff, you have two choices, quit or keep going. Right? It's your choice. And some people quit for a period of time, and we call those people incubators. They're really not doing it, okay, but they're also haven't quit yet. Those are the worst people, in my opinion. I like people that make a decision and just do. That's who I like. Just go out there. There's no respect for people that go, well, I'll try this. Okay, I always correct people. If you're going to try it, you're going to fail. You have to do it until you do it. Okay, but this is where the desire is linked to the why, of course, and you've heard the why over and over again. But I'm telling you, every leader that walks across the stage, I don't care if they're at Eric Worre's event, GoPro, if they're with World Global Network, if they're with Amway, every single leader is going to talk about their why. Every single person. And that why and that desire has to be strong enough, because now you got to be willing to do whatever it takes. See the second attribute on your screen? Will. The willingness to do what? Figure it out. The willingness to go out there and do all the necessary things to build your business. I got to be willing to come to the events. I got to be willing to get on Diamond Zone. I got to be willing to put myself in the uncomfortable. Right? We all know the uns, right? The money is in the uncomfortable, the unnatural, and the unbelievable. Well, whenever you reach the uns, you got to check your desire. Because listen, is it easier to work out or not work out? Okay, what should you do? Work out. Is it easier to save money or spend money? Spend money. What should you do? Save money. Is it easier to have a job and work for somebody else, or to take responsibility to own your own business? It's always easier to have a job, but what do most people want to do? They want to own their own business. Well, see, those are the uns. Those are the uncomfortable. And the very thing that we stray away from is exactly what we need to start doing. But you got to be willing to do it. Whatever it takes, figure it out attitude. And if something doesn't feel quite right, you got to move towards it, not away from it. Okay, and I always use the analogy. You guys know I always use the health club analogy. Okay, even today, even though it's embedded in me that I need to work out, every time I go to that gym, the other voice kicks in. Even after 30 years of working out, you know what the other voice says? Okay, let's not go today, Jeff. Okay, let's just go in the sauna today. Let's really not go and work out. Okay, but I know I have to persevere through that. Well, how many times does the other voice, everybody, let's check them, check yourself. How many times does the other voice try to keep you away from making phone calls? Right? Well, there's always, it's amazing how other things come, it was so important besides the very thing that earns us money. How many times did the other voice stop you from sending out that text message or an email? How many times does the other voice stop you from getting into a conversation with somebody you've identified that has desire? Tell me that other voice isn't always there. But see, what you have to do now is check your desire, because you got to be willing to do what most people won't do. Welcome to an opportunity to become financially independent. And I'll say it again, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Okay, now here's the thing. Is our business and our program not simple? When you hear a webinar given by any one of the leaders, and you get to that last slide, that what you have to do is get started, get as many eyes on that 2-minute video as possible, and leverage your upline. What part of that is not simple? But we're sending a simple message. But what's simple to do is also simple not to do. And you heard what Ramasio said yesterday. Okay, it's scheduling your success. That's what I've been preaching, okay, a lot lately, is you got to schedule your time. If you don't schedule your time, you got to be willing to schedule your time. And then one of the biggest messages he was sending yesterday was being teachable. He used it, see, he called it something different. I call it being teachable. You know what he called it? He called it ego. But that he's exactly right. Being teachable means this. You have to be dumb enough to be smart enough to listen. You got to be dumb enough to be smart enough to listen to people who have done it. Can I ask you all a question? Okay, how many people we have on this call today? Okay, 131. Okay, 131 people on this call today. Do you think I would be up when I get up every morning at 5 in the morning to do Diamond Zone because I want to give you any wrong information? I want you guys to think about that business plan. Let's get up every morning, Monday through Friday, and let's teach people something I know without a doubt is not going to work. See where you have to just buy into it? This is what he was talking about, putting your ego down. We have a vested interest in your success. Everybody does. But you have to just listen. And the reason why a lot of people don't is because if they listen, it means they have to have activity. In order to have activity, you got to now go into the uncomfortable. You see how this works? And for you to go into the uncomfortable, you got to check your desire. So you got to have your desire in place in order for you to be willing to do whatever it takes and to listen to the people that have done it before you. Wow. You see the stuff? It's not the product. It's not the compensation plan. It's dealing with our inner demons. And our inner demons came from what we learned. Right? It's from our past. We know this. And this is why sometimes you just got to go, got it. And I don't know when this happens. You've heard my story. It took me 2 years for this to happen. And we talked about it last night. There's 2 dates. There's the date you started and the date you made a decision to start doing it. 2 completely different dates. Jeff, when did you start your business? 1993. When did you actually start doing the business? 1995. I'm just using those dates. My math is bad. Whatever it was. It was 2 years later. But we got in 2 years prior. Well, what was going on those first 2 years? The climb. Right? Going through my inner stuff that I had to go through. And that's why I always talk about it. If I just reach one person today that says, you know what, today's my start date, we're successful. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to always, when you go out there, that's why there's a responsibility, guys. There's a responsibility, and Lisa's going to talk about this tomorrow. Okay, getting people started right. Making sure they get the welcome letter. Making sure you understand what you're sponsoring. Who do you really have? Being there, okay, to support your team. But understand when you go out there and build your business, I'm always looking for new team members. You want to jumpstart your business? Sponsor a new person. Watch how excited you get when you bring in new blood. It's amazing what happens. But see, some people okay? They just are not willing to go out there and execute the plan. And I'm going to say it again. It's because it's the uncomfortable. Well, let me ask you, how do you make the uncomfortable comfortable? By doing it, right? It's uncomfortable every time when you start a workout program, is it not? But eventually, when you go consistently, it becomes uncomfortable not to work out. That's where I want to get all of you. It would be uncomfortable for me not to do Diamond Zone. It would be uncomfortable for me not to do 4 launch meetings that I have today. It would be uncomfortable for me not to go out there and execute my 7 3-way calls I have scheduled for today. That would be uncomfortable. But in the beginning, guess what? Okay, those were the things I never wanted to do. And that's why I used to redo the PowerPoint slides. That's why I would redo, right, the compensation plan. I would try to have authorship instead of just going out there and doing it. Okay? Because I didn't like the way the uncomfortable felt. That's all. So guys, look at these first 3 attributes. You got to check your desire. And you got to be willing to go out there and do whatever it takes. And you got to listen to the people, to your plugged in upline. I'm going to say that again. You got to listen to your plugged in upline. Okay, can I tell you who that is? Okay, let me just do this quick training here, okay? If this is Mary, I'm not going to use people's names, right? And Mary sponsored Steve, okay? And Steve sponsored Joe. And Joe sponsored Fran. We all know who Fran is, right? Now this is not the genealogy. Don't try to read into this because we sponsored Fran. Fran has a great plugged in upline. But let's just say this was it. Mary, who's doing nothing, sponsored Steve, who's doing nothing, who sponsors Joe, who's doing nothing, right? And all of a sudden, through Joe, here's Fran. And above Mary, let's say there's Jeremy. Okay, let's say it's Jeremy Roma up here, who sponsored Mary. All right, now, Fran is going to, when I say you're plugged in upline, is Joe the plugged in upline? No, he's not doing anything. She's not going to get her advice from someone doing nothing. She's not going to get her advice from Steve. She's not going to get her advice from Mary. She's going to get her advice from the person who's plugged in and building. So don't just think the person who brought you in, that, because I hear this all the time, my sponsor's doing nothing. So what? We've always looked at our business and taken responsibility. I'll get to that in a second. But a new person, you got to keep going up until you find somebody. Everybody on this call has somebody up there that's plugged in. That's who you get your advice from. Okay? Don't take advice from somebody you know, okay, is doing 0 in the business. That's crazy. I will promise you, everybody on this call has somebody up there that's working. And that's why we have these calls too, okay, to make sure you're plugged into the right information. So when you're out there, then you got to take responsibility for your business. See, if I have the desire, and I'm willing to do now and follow what they're telling me because I'm teachable. Now, here's when everything turns. When you take responsibility and ownership of your business. Being self-reliant. Self-reliant to holding yourself accountable to your activities. Being self-reliant to seek out the information. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you some of the dumbest conversations I've had. Jeff, when is Diamond Zone? I'm sorry, did you get the welcome letter? Yes. Well, everything's on the welcome letter. Did you read it? No. No responsibility. Jeff, when are the opportunity calls? It's on your welcome letter. Jeff, how do I get into my back office? It's on your welcome letter. Jeff, I need to understand how to talk to people. It's on your welcome letter. Okay, all the basic stuff is on the welcome letter. Wait, what? And you haven't read it yet? You haven't taken responsibility for your business. Take the responsibility to seek out the information. Do you know how much information is out there if you really want it? How to get into your back office, understanding your comp plan, how the Helo works, how to set it up, all that stuff. You know it's all out there. Take responsibility to get the information before you call your upline. Your upline is there for support, but not to answer questions that are on your welcome letter. You guys follow this? You guys are your own, everybody here, you own your own business. You know that, right? Everybody here is a business owner. And what you need to do is understand taking responsibility for your business. Being self-reliant. Lisa and I got to a point after 2 years that we looked at our upline as gravy. We knew that we had to take responsibility from here down. And the buck stopped here. Even now, okay, the buck stops here with me and Lisa, and we have, look at our upline, Jeremy Roma, Chad and Natita, Nat and Shanita. Do you think we're calling Jeremy and saying, Jeremy, okay, how do I get into my back office? No, I don't pull it. We take responsibility for our business. But if I need Jeremy for something, okay, they're there for me. If I need Chad and Natita for something, they're there for me. But I know that I have to be responsible, okay, for me to build my team. So guys, just be self-reliant before you start calling your upline on stuff that's there. All you gotta do is seek it out. And I know there's a lot of people on this call, okay, that probably get dumb questions. Okay, the resources are there, okay? And then you gotta be driven. See drive and determination, where is it? It's in the hips for a reason. You gotta get up and do something every day. You gotta have your schedule. I just told you mine today, 4 launch calls, 7 three-way calls. And that's before we go to our networking event tonight. Because I have to also make time, right, for my workout, for Diamond Zone, and I have to now make plans to get in front of people today. We had to schedule that. Now, I know it's hard to compare because we're both full-time. I get it. But schedule your time. Drive and determination is fueled by what? Your desire. That's what drive and determination is fueled by. Okay, you got to be driven, guys. You got to always go back, okay, and understand why you're doing this. And then you got to be directed. Diamond Zone is meant to keep you directed, to keep you on track on what you need to do on a daily basis. Right? It's like the analogy I used yesterday. If you're going on vacation, okay, and you don't know where you're going, you're already there. Being directed as you take the journey. You're going to hit a mountain. You're going to hit landmines. You're going to hit pitfalls. But you know what this does? It keeps you directed. That's why you should never miss company events. It keeps you directed on a daily basis. That's why we say if there is an event within 500 miles of you, you should be at it. You got to get around it. That's what keeps your direction. Okay? And then you got to be aggressive. Now, understand what aggressive means. It doesn't mean being aggressive in attacking people. It means aggressive. It means aggressive within exercising your attributes. Aggressive in seeking your goals. right? Aggressive in putting down your goal and saying, you know what? What was Ramacio's number? 500 people. And what did he do? He divided it by 7, and he knew he had to touch 80 people a day. He aggressively pursued that goal. That was his number. That's what I'm talking about, being aggressive. Aggressive within yourself. But doesn't it always go back to desire? If the desire's there, here comes the aggressiveness. No desire, none of this works. None of this works. And then you got to be consistent and persistent. Don't they go hand in hand? I think they said this, I don't know how many times at Disrupt when they introduced Lisa. Consistent diamond zones, consistent opportunity presentations, consistently networking. This is what we're talking. This is what a lot of people do. We talked about this on Monday. You come out of an event, you go full bore for 24 hours and maybe 48 hours. And then all of a sudden, you don't get the results in 48 hours and you go, you know what? And here it goes. It starts to diminish. And the very thing that got you excited, okay, because you weren't seeing the results, all of a sudden allowed you to start what? To be paralyzed. This is what happens to people all the time. You see it. But see, this is what you also duplicate. And I'm stressing this a lot. Your consistency is being watched. Your inconsistency is being watched. Because this is when you take on the face of leadership, guys. By exercising your attributes, you then take on the face of leadership. And guess what? Now you're giving direction. So now, once I'm working on my attributes, which you never stop working on, now it's easy for me to identify another leader. Remember the saying, a follower will follow a follower. A follower will follow a leader, but a leader will never follow a follower. Then you wonder why some of the top earners in the industry always attract other leaders. Because they have worked on their attributes, and other leaders know when they meet a leader. Well, Jeff, how do I identify leadership? How do I bring leadership into my business? They also could identify when someone's working on their leadership skills. And they also understand leverage, bringing in another leader to talk to your people. Guys, you don't have to be the Lone Ranger in the beginning. Leverage the system. And I want you to understand the system. The system is simple. We keep talking about that. The purpose of a presentation is for the new person to go, I can do that. And when they say, I can do that, you get them working. And you get them sending out text messages. And then you find out about the person when they hit their first roadblock. And that's where you have to be there to give them a hand. Hey, don't worry about it. Keep moving forward. Stay plugged into the system because now they're on their journey. Does that make sense? And I'm telling you, it's easier to quit. We know this. But I will tell you this, guys. I've never in 24 years ever have seen an opportunity like this. And what we have to do is we have to grab it. We have to grab it and we have to work on our attributes. But you work on your attributes as you do the daily things. Never ever stop filling up your funnel. Never. And that's what I was talking about when I said to Ramacio, when you get started, should you go into warm market or cold market? And you hear the answer? Warm market. Because I could identify people in my warm market. I know the answers to the test. How many people do you know in your warm market possess some of these skills on your screen? That's who you're looking for. How many people in your warm market have desire? Have done and been willing to do whatever it takes in other aspects of their life, that are teachable, that have taken responsibility. Sometimes these are the people that we don't talk to, when those are the very people, okay, that are fueled by their attributes, and they're looking for other opportunities. It's not, you know, there's two types of people, guys, right? There's people that need money and people who want money. People who need money are trying to figure it out, right? They're usually hand to mouth. They're paycheck to paycheck. Is there an opportunity here for people that need money? Of course. But the other side are people who want money. They're hungrier. A lot of times the people that want money are hungrier than people that need money, even though the people that want money have it. Making money to people who want money is contagious. Why do you think they're wealthy? They don't just turn on and off. They're always looking for opportunities. And now here you come with wearable technology in the industry of network marketing, bringing to the table blood glucose, right? Bringing to the table all the different apps, all the different products. Do you think people could start to see it? This is what you have to do. When you make this list, you want to identify, okay, people that exercise their attributes. This is what you're looking for, right? If I was hiring people, I would be looking for these skills. So take a picture of this and say, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that have desire. I'm looking for people that are willing to do whatever it takes. I'm looking for people that will follow a system. Okay, and when you start doing this and identifying what you're looking for, it's amazing how they start to appear. But the first person that we have to really work on is ourselves. You'll hear that a lot. You'll hear that over and over and over again. So guys, I appreciate all of you. I know a lot of people are waiting for the new packages. Before I got on this call, I looked in the back office and the new packages are not there yet. I do believe they will be there today, and we will train on that on Diamond Zone tomorrow. Okay, we'll train on the new packages. We're going to train on the welcome letter. We're going to train on how to get somebody started correctly. So please make sure you're on tomorrow. But you guys have a great day. New pay cycle starts today for the week. And appreciate all of you for taking the journey. This has been recorded. It'll be archived and on GM Alba Global. And also, Ramacio's training that we did yesterday also lives on GM Alba Global YouTube page. You guys, thank you so much.